India's GDP growth, for example, slowed to 6-year lows. We all know about that. One of the bigger distress points in that print was the slowdown in private final consumption that slowed to 3.2% from 7.1% in the previous quarter. Let's get an industry perspective on this with Mr. R.S. Sodhi. He's the managing director of Amul. He joins us right now on the show to talk about that. Mr. Sodhi, good having you. Thanks for joining in. At the outset, just wanted to understand from you, the GDP print that came out has shown that for the first time in many years, or many quarters maybe, the final private consumption numbers have contracted. We've seen a few FMCG companies, CEOs speak about how consumers are thinking twice before buying even low-ticket items. What's your experience on how is business looking for the dairy sector, especially for Amul as well?
Well, I'm also equally amazed to see such stories coming across media, TV, press, that there is a slowdown, there is a reduction in consumption, people are not buying even 5 rupee SKU. I don't believe it. I mean, you see, Amul deals in dairy products, and our products are purchased by all income segment across India, everybody. And if I talk to you about our sales growth, I mean, the first 5 months with August we completed just 2 days back. So first 5 months, year on year, our growth we have registered is 26%. And this 26% growth in our businesses come across all categories. You talk milk, ice cream, cheese, butter, flavored milk, dahi, buttermilk, across all categories. So you talk to anybody, nobody has a reduced consumption. People may have shifted from one product to other brand or one category to other category, because our incomes have not reduced. Every Indian is earning more, spending more. So consumption is there. If I am not buying car, I may be traveling in a taxi, or I may be traveling public transport, or I don't have parking place to buy car. I am spending more. So our dairy products are growing, and there is no slowdown. Let me clarify it.
Point is, wouldn't the GDP print have captured that? Because the numbers that have been dished out by India in the first quarter, the private final consumption growth is just 3.2%, which is a dramatic contraction. If indeed everybody was buying products, the overall numbers on the consumption would not have looked this weak, isn't it?
You see, if you compare quarter to quarter, there are some adjustment in the inventories or trade inventories. You see, banks have just stringent their lending terms. Okay, so there has been some reduction in the inventories in the trade. So naturally, if trader who used to carry inventory of 1 month, if he has reduced inventory to 20 days or 15 days, that much less he has purchased. So that much less has been produced by some manufacturer. So it's a adjustment in the trade inventories, and this will get adjusted next quarter. So that is what I feel, because I get a lot of complaints that people have got now less money. So lending has become, so they're investing less in the inventories. But consumption as such has not reduced. I don't believe it, because I was just now in the markets of Punjab, Delhi, Chandigarh, and then in the Bombay, I was talking to retailers and distributors. Everybody is saying there's demand is picking up in the food, and nobody told me there is a slowdown. I only read in the newspaper, see on the TV, nowhere else in the market. You go and talk to any shopkeeper, you see, HoReCa segment is growing at the rate of 25 to 30%. People are eating out, people are ordering food at home. So shift is taking place. I fully agree. Modern trade is growing at the rate of 25 to 30%. You ask to any modern trade, they are selling more.
Yeah, no, but what you're experiencing at Amul, sir, would it be true for the dairy sector at large, or is it because of the branding and the distribution strength that you are gaining at the expense of others?
No, Amul is the market leader. If market leader is growing at the 26, you see, if market leader is growing at the rate of 26%, naturally category is growing, consumption is growing. No doubt we may be gaining some market share from others also. In some markets, it is possible. But that maybe instead of 26%, 3, 4, percent may have come from competitors, but 22% is the growth in the market.
Okay, I wanted to ask you about this 26% growth that you mentioned. Is it due to strength in particular categories, or is it broad-based? And two, what's happening to wages within such strong growth then? Have you seen wage hikes? Because when you look at some of the sectors which are facing issues, there have been some staggering quantum of job losses. Autos, for example.
So coming to the growth in various categories, I'm not saying that if I say 26% growth is coming across all categories. In some category, it may be around 8-9%. In some categories, like ice cream, more than 20%. In case of curd or buttermilk, maybe more than 30%. So, or in butter, it may be 16%. So, category is different, but I'm talking about it. And there is some price increase also, and prices of, especially of commodity prices, have increased. So all this put together giving this much growth. But what I want to re-emphasize is there is no slowdown. There is no slowdown in consumption of food or food items. In fact, it's growing. But you are talking about job loss in the auto sector, and that I think that question you have to ask those people only. But I think, I mean, in some sectors, some job losses are there. In some sector, employment is increasing. I mean, I find in the small city like Anand, hundreds of youth have been employed by the Zomato and other home delivery, these food people. I mean, those who are in, I mean, people are getting new opportunities. Some old sector may not be able to absorb those many people. New sectors are opening up.
Okay.
And auto sector also, I would say, I mean, you have to wait also. The people may be waiting for new version of automobile or electric vehicle sector, may not be buying, especially in the bigger cities. See, I mean, people, today's youth or newly wedded couple, they don't want to buy a car. They want to go for Uber or Ola. They are finding difficult parking. And everybody wants to work while traveling. So if you are driving, it's difficult to work. So people want to either, travel in the public transport or on the taxi.
Yeah, true. Okay, now let's move on, sir. Has premiumization taken a hit in the last 6 months? People may be consuming some amount, but they are maybe opting for slightly lower price points. Are you seeing that within your product categories as well?
No, we have seen people are becoming now more conscious about value for money. They don't believe what companies want to communicate about the perception of any product with regard to premiumization. They decide based on the contents and their own experience or their friends, word of mouth publicity through social media. I mean, no doubt there is a demand for premium products, but the premiumness has to come from the contents, from the taste, and no doubt, I mean, then other things. Then just by the creating a perception through communication or through advertising or a very glossy packaging.
Okay, my final question, Mr. Sodhi, is on commodity prices. I heard you mention, and most people also that we speak to mention, that they are now starting to see commodity prices come off, which would be great for India Inc. Your thoughts on the commodity input costs for the industry and whether the rural stress that we are seeing will continue to drive the choice of products of your customers?
You see, commodity pricing, I'm happy to say that whereas urban industry is crying that there is a slowdown and this thing, but if you talk to any milk producer in India, anywhere, they're extremely happy because average milk producer is getting 25 to 30% more price for the milk as compared to the last year, same month. And same, I mean, similar type of increase has happened in all the agriculture commodities. Price of most of the agriculture commodities have increased compared to last year. So slowdown in urban center is maybe there, but rural sector is growing, and you will see the impact in next 2 quarters because of good rainfalls, increase in prices of most of the agriculture produce as well as the milk. Farmers will be earning more for the next 2 quarters. And once they earn, farmers won't make, I mean, will not have money to save. They spend it. and that spending will be reflected in the sales of the FMCG or two-wheelers or other durables in the next 2 quarters.
Okay, Mr. Sodhi, we wish you all the best for the quarters ahead as well. Thank you so much for taking the time out and speaking to us.